Hi, guys, and welcome back to Reads Readers with your host, Clinton Reed. And if you can tell by the title of this video, we have my TBR number 2, this time for ReReadathon. Yay! Where we get to reread some books that we love, which is going to help set me up for my next 2 readathons. So how about that, guys? I was strategic this year. ReReadathon will be taking place from March 10th to March 16th. And the only 2 hosts that I can think of off the top of my head is Murphy Napier and Becca from Becca and the Books. I will link their 2 channels down below, and if I can find out the other hosts, I'll link them down below too so that you can see the announcement videos. But I'm going to read off the challenges. My challenges, I'm kind of doubling up because the fact that we have I have a lot to read this month from my readathon, this readathon, another readathon, the books that I need to get through, and I have the my Salem trip at the end of the month. So you'll see me double up. I'll just go through all 7 challenges, and when we get to each one, I will just tell you what I'm reading for each. Alright? Giving a book a second... Challenge number 1. Giving a book a second chance. Now, I added this here because this is the only one I'm not, like, doubling up for something. No, actually, 2 of them are not getting doubled up. Whatever. Because... I chose this one because you'll see with my other readathons, but... And that is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I read this last year, and I do believe I gave it a 4-star or a 4.5. It was really slow at the beginning, and it was like about there that I decided to watch the movie, and then that made me want to finish the book. So I want to reread it and actually give it a chance this time without actually seeing the movie and stuff like that, you know? So that's book number 1. A recent favorite. Actually, I'm going to go ahead. Challenge number 2 is a recent favorite. This book also will do for a game-changing book. And, yeah, I am doubling up for a recent favorite and a game-changing book. And I am going to be reading Saga, Volume 1 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I'm really not the biggest sci-fi fan, and this, like, pulled me in. And I, like, fell in love with this first volume. I've only read the first 2, which is just weird for how much I love these. So, but I want to reread it because I just recently got issues 3, 4, and 5, which you'll see possibly in my next couple of TBR videos. But this is kind of like a Romeo and Juliet retelling, just in space and told from the baby. It's about a feuding planet and its moon, like, fighting, and each one is from a different one, and they fall in love, and then they have all these bounty hunters out to get them. It's a game-changing book because after this, I got back into graphic novels. I used to not be into graphic novels unless they were, like, superheroes and stuff like that. Because of this, I have picked up stuff like Fence, I Hate Fairyland, Spells on Wheels, and stuff like that. And I really have dived into the graphic novel genre because of this. So, game-changing. So this takes place of 2 challenges. Next is an old favorite and an underrated book. Now, granted, I've never read this edition because when I read this when I was a kid, but I recently found this at Half Price Books, and I know that with the cover redesign and stuff like that, they've changed some of the 90s references to today's references, but it's still a book that I remember reading that helped me get into books, which, sad to say, is another sci-fi book. I don't read enough sci-fi, and I thought bringing in some sci-fi. Why not? And that is Animorphs by K.A. Applegate, Volume 1, The Invasion. I have been dying to reread these books, but I wanted to get book 1 and see if I actually still love Animorphs like I did when I was like 7. So I haven't read these since like elementary school, and these used to be some of my all-time favorite books. So why not? And it's such an underrated middle grade novel. Like, seriously, people, these are kids that get powers to turn into animals. Like, let's be honest. And like aliens, and then weird things happening, and then just I can't wait to reread this. Oh, those books are falling. Yay, because of the weird stackness I did. Okay. Next, I'm reading a childhood favorite. And because Mel from Completely Melanie is hosting the Pottermore, and I got this adult version of the Deathly Hollows, I thought I would read this edition and see if it's any different from the regular edition. Because it's an adult cover, which is in almost pristine condition. And I just want to read it and see if there's anything different that makes it adult, or if it's just the cover that makes it an adult, if that makes sense. So can't wait. And lastly, number 7 is to reread a popular book. And I chose Volume 2 of Saga because Saga is one of the most popular graphic novel series on BookTube. Why not? And those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Let's move these over so we can just see everything. And these are my 5 reads that I'm rereading during ReReadathon. I can't wait to like give a couple of these a second chance, try a different format, reread some favorite graphic novels that got me into reading graphic novels this past year. Like, this is going to be a really, really fun. So, that's all I've got for you today on my TBR number 2. I will see you in my next TBR video. Till next time, remember kids, reading is what's fundamental. Bye!